Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Saturday, July 18th, 2015. I'm Jeremy, talking about what you can do today to make tomorrow better. I'm going to try to make this one not entirely too long, so I'll try to get right to the point. I had an idea for today, but after last night, I feel like I got to change it up. Today's tip: don't fight fire with fire. Don't fight hate with hate. Just like you can't fight racism with racism, you can't fight bigotry with bigotry. Got to take a different approach. The toughest approach, probably, because you usually got to sometimes swallow your pride. You got to be humble. You got to turn the other cheek, bite your lip, do whatever you got to do sometimes to get the outcome that everybody says they want, but usually nobody goes about getting it the right way. So yesterday, after a long day, I go to meet some friends out for a drink. Hadn't eaten much, so a couple beers goes a long way sometimes. And waiting in line afterwards because I'm starving at a late night place called Crave. It's open 24 hours. Young crowd, long line, like 30 minutes. You're lucky to get in and out of there. I think it ended up taking 45 minutes at the end of all this. But the tacos and burrito were worth it. But went in line. Was talking to the people in front of us. For a while, like I said, the line's long. And then this group of 3 girls and a guy that had been over on the side, I think 2 of them were arguing, the guy and the girl. And then they're behind us. They look like they're not even old enough to drink. But start talking to them. And then age comes up somewhat at some point, pretty quick. And the one girl who was with the guy looked like Tom Cruise. That's being nice, but she asked how old I was, and or we were, and I said 40. I just turned 40, and that goes into oh my gosh, that's my mom's age, or my mom, you're as old as my mom, and I'm like, oh wow, it's crazy, with more energy then, but things escalate, and where most of us are joking. I'm at least, joking, but maybe, like I said, maybe it came from her misinterpreting my friendliness, but she just started digging, like age jokes and, comparing me to her mom, saying, oh, my mom looks like 10 times better than you for her age, this and that, just really stupid digs, but you could tell she was I don't know, she had some opinion, and she wasn't holding back. And I was deflecting and joking and not even taking it seriously until at some point she kept digging as I was, talking to those in her crowd or her crew. And she took another dig, and eventually even though in the back of my mind, and even though I hadn't eaten all day and 3 beers had me more buzzed than I should have been, I caved, and I kind of, gave her some of her own medicine, which she did not like. And then, you could tell. And, I ended up going to the bathroom a couple minutes later. I came back and they had left. And we still had another half-hour wait. But the point is, she was really snide. She probably could have had it coming. But bottom line is, I regret, the way I ultimately reacted, because it was really, it was a weak move when I look back at it, because I thought, I was speaking like I am to you right now, but still, I didn't have to, and I knew she was young and naive, but man, she was the embodiment of one of the girls from Mean Girls. So I almost felt like an obligation at the time, even though I would say that was a bit of a selfish agenda to think that it was my place to do that. But that's why you can't fight fire with fire, and to do that, it just takes a lot of humility. And the thing is, by me, bringing the verbal smack back, I didn't really help anything, even if I may have helped that situation or not. whatever the perception was. There's a lot of people behind us and in front of us. I'm sure all enjoying the verbal sparring, but like I wasn't offended by any of her words because it was ignorant, and I knew that. So it was just it should not have ever gotten me to the point to do that. And I don't think it's uncommon. I think a lot of people do that, and I think the world does that. By me bringing it back to her, and you could tell it definitely ruffled her feathers, and because then she started, after being quiet, then she said a couple more things. But I was done at that point, and I was, had turned, was laughing with my buddy, letting it be what it was. My point again is, though, had I just let it go and at least continued the even keeled sentiment that I was initially responding with, maybe, who knows, but maybe when she wakes up tomorrow, or when she gets older, hopefully she'll figure it out anyway. But hopefully she could have gotten something from it. But by me firing back in the way I did, all it does is accentuate any stereotype or any opinions he may have had of me, or people that I reminded her of, or whatever. So all it did was perpetuate the problem, because by fighting fire with fire, all it did was make the flame bigger instead of diffusing it. There's many ways to do that. I could have just turned and just taken it and eaten the insults and whatever, because it wasn't a big deal. It shouldn't have been. I just went back to talking to the people in front of me. Although it was funny, it was a very young crowd, and the age jokes were, I was like, I never even realized that. I hadn't been there in months, but I used to go there all the time, never even thought about it. But, like I said, by me having that ultimate weak response, just by by feeling the need to do that, all it did was make the ultimate problem worse. Whether I ended that last night doesn't matter, because it didn't make me feel any better, and it certainly didn't improve any thinking on her part. I mean, who knows? Maybe in a backwards way she'll think twice, but I doubt it. Probably just make her more apt to do it next time. Whereas a softer, subtler approach from start to finish probably would have served the overall purpose much better. So like I said, don't fight fire with fire. Show humility. I've started trying to pray every morning, and I tell you what, and a lot of people meditate and yoga, whatever, in the morning, and I never subscribed to that. But man, if you just take a little bit of time out to get your mind right every day, and then if you ever find it out of place during the day, to get back to that point and do it, it really sets you up to be grateful, humble, everything. Situations like that will be a piece of cake. Granted, you add any kind of alcohol, and you never know. You got extra willpower to either not drink or be all the more apt to not speak back when you have been, because the tongue is a little looser those moments, for sure. So if you want to make the world a little better today, tomorrow, and whenever, don't fight fire with fire. Don't fight hate with hate. As hard as it is, just try to throw some love, if not water, if not silence, on the fire, because eventually it'll die out anyway. So, all right, I hope you're having a good Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow.